from Minister of Finance, Accountant General's Office. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. NSAMA Town Council, you're welcome. My name is Aubrey Kasonu Chindef from Controller of Internal Audit. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Local Government Service Commission.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. Good morning, CS and the team. My name is Mulumbenj Kasanka from Local Government Service Commission under the Department of Human Resource Management Services. Thank you.
Thank you. The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
Chairperson, I'm so grateful, and good morning to you once more and the honorable members of your committee. NSAMA Town Council, you're welcome. I'm Kazinga Kennedy from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. The Office of the Auditor General.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of this committee. Good morning, NSAMA Council. You're welcome. My name is Asakala Wycliffe from Auditor General's Office.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning to all the honorable members of your committee. Good morning, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Nyalazi, Principal Auditor from Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Simon Munyama from the Planning and Research Department, Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you so much. Office of the Clerk, Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, members of this committee. NSAMA, you're welcome. My name is Beverly Nzala from the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to you, and good morning, everyone else. Andrew Siwale is my name from the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We go to the honorable members of the committee. We can start with the honorable member of Parliament for Mitete.
Totally grateful on to you. Good morning, witness. MD for Mitete, your humble servant. Chair, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The honorable member of Parliament for Dundumwezi. Honorable Singombe.
Good morning, everyone. My name is the Honorable Dr. Singombe, representing the people of Dundumwezi. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The honorable member of Parliament for Kalulushi.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, dear colleagues. I want to wish the women in the committee. I can tell there's a beautiful woman who has come with the NSAMA Town Council. I just want to wish them a happy belated Women's Day and encourage them that you are important, you are beautiful, and every woman is every man's pillar. And I just want to say thank you also to you, the men, who would not be where we are without your support. You make us beautiful women because you support us. My name is Kampamba Mlenga. I am Member of Parliament for the good people of Kalulushi on the Copper Belt. In NSAMA Town Council, you are most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Honorable Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair, and NSAMA Town Council. Welcome to your committee. I am Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in Pedagogy District of the Eastern Province. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Honorable people of Siavonga.
Good morning, Chairperson. Thank you very much. NSAMA Town Council, good morning. Good morning, permanent witnesses. I'm Mulonda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much. I'm Christopher Shakafuswa, Member of Parliament for Mandevu constituency of Lusaka District. I'm the Vice Chairperson of the Committee of Local Government and Accounts. I'm the former Zalasa President, Mr. Kamanga.
Chair, we worked very well with you. I'm privileged that we are still working together this moment around. Thank you so much.
You're welcome to Mandevu constituency. I now wish to call upon you, CS, to present your memorandum.
Thank you, Chair. Before I present my report, allow me to present an addendum that I've come with just to support the submission that we've got to make to this committee.
Go ahead. How many copies do you have?
We have enough for all of you, Chair.
Please go ahead. The addendum. This is extra information on all the appendices. CS, is this extra information on all the appendices?
Yes, Chair.
All right. The addendum is admitted to be part of the report. You may go ahead.
Even, Chair, before I go ahead to present, I want to render an apology. You will note that we could have realized the numbering could not have been done well. So I'll try as much as possible, Chair, to guide this committee so that you are able to follow our submission. With that said, Chair, allow me to submit the memorandum of the responses to the report of the Auditor General on the account of Chimbamilonga Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. I submit for consideration, Chair. One, I'm referring to the main document that we have so far earlier circulated, and I'm responding to the specific audit findings on the implementation of community projects. The first query on community projects was on the delayed completion of projects. I will go to the management response. The first project that we were queried on was the construction of an ablution block and water reticulation at NSAMA Rural Health Center. Our response, Chair, as management, the observations of the Auditor General are acknowledged and wish to state that delayed completion was due to non-performance of the contractor. Action taken, management has since terminated the contract and awarded the project to another contractor. There is Appendix 1 in this main report, Chair, but again, we have provided more information to the addendum that I've just circulated, and that is coming as Appendix 1. Remedial measures, Chair, on the next page. Management will ensure that all contracts are executed within the stipulated time frame. Another project queried was the rehabilitation of Roma Kakoma Road. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wish to state that the delayed completion was as a result of the delayed funding of the 2024 Constituency Development Fund. Action taken. Management has since written to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for the remaining balance of 2024. We have an appendix, of course, to support that. Remedial measures, management will continue to engage the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for timely release of funding. Next page, Chair. We were also queried on overpayment to suppliers. This query, Chair, you will note that we did not answer it. Hence, the answer is coming in the addendum. This was because the query, we had not noticed it in the management letter as well as in the DAP. It only appeared when we were looking at the Auditor General's report to this committee. So, Chair, initially, we were being queried for the failing to provide information. As when we provided enough information, the auditors escalated it, and we realized that it had been upgraded to overpayment. So in answering to this, Chair, our management response, I'll refer you now to the addendum. You can go to the addendum on the first page. Overpayment to suppliers, we have provided a table of the 3 contractors and showing how much we were expected we were seen to have overpaid. I know that you have just received this, so our response to that is that cause of query, the findings of the auditors are acknowledged, and we wish to state that the payments arose from the 2 different contracts by the same suppliers, whereas the SAMU General Dealers was a typo error of contract sum in the contract document. Action taken. Management has since reconciled the contracts payments as shown in the tables below. On the next page, Chair, we have attempted to show the 2 contracts to Jealousy being under 2022 and under 2023. And the table there, Chair, will show that Jealousy had 2 contracts, but I think when the auditors came to review, it's possible that they looked at 1 contract. That's the first table. Then there's a second table. There is also Krimui traders and contractors who had also 2 contracts. And hence, we have attempted to summarize also how the payments were running on the first contract and the second contract, and what could have come to be understood as overpayment. The last table, Chair, is purely a typo error of the contract sum in the contract document for the sum who had been awarded the contract in 2023, and the table is actually showing the contract sum, and to support that, we had an error, we erred, we have attached the contract itself, the acceptance, and the offer letter, which are attached as appendices in this same, they're coming on Appendix 3P and Q, as well as N. So, Chair, this ends my submission on the overpayment to the supplier, to the suppliers, and I'm now taking you back to cross-cutting issues in the main document, that is page 5, I'm referring you, Chair, to the audit document, which was submitted earlier, which is now talking about cross-cutting issues. And there's an appendix 1, budget and funding. There's a table of unutilized funds, management response. The findings of the Auditor General are acknowledged, and we wish to state that the variance was due to delayed funding of the 2024 Constituency Development Fund. Action taken. Management has since written to the Ministry of Local Government and the Rural Development requesting for the remaining balance of the 2024. We have appendices in this same document, which we can refer to under 4S to T. Remedial measure. Management will continue to engage the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for timely release of CDF funding. There is an appendix 1.1, retained funds. Below, of course, a table.
You can skip this one. Go to the next one.
Thank you. I go to appendix 2.1, unspent funds under community projects. Chair, there is a table, of course, showing 19% of unspent monies. Management response, cause of query. The fundings of the Auditor General are acknowledged, and we wish to state that the unspent funds were as a result of ongoing projects. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the money has since been spent. There is an appendix 6, which also is running A and B within this document. Remedial measure, Chair. Management will ensure that funds are spent in line with commitment, government programs and activities. We move on to appendix, the next page, which is appendix 2.2, total unspent funds, empowerment grants. Management response. The findings of the Auditor General are acknowledged, and wish to state that the unspent funds were due to incorrect bank accounts for the beneficiaries groups. Action taken. Funds have since been spent based on the correct bank accounts. We have an appendix, Chair, speaking to that. Remedial measures. Management will ensure that funds are spent in line with government committed programs. The next page, Chair, is the appendix 2.3, total unspent funds under secondary boarding and skills development. The table summarizes it. We move to the management response, cause of query. The findings of the Auditor General are acknowledged, and we wish to report that the variance of the unspent funds was due to low turnout of applicants, as the payments were based on invoices from schools after verification. Action taken. Management through CDF committee varied the unspent funds towards other projects, as evidenced in Appendix 8, specifically E and F. Remedial measures. Management will continue sensitizing the community to apply for secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. The next page, Chair, is Appendix 2.4, total unspent funds under loans. Summarized by that table, management response, cause of query. The findings of the Auditor General are acknowledged, and we wish to state that the unspent funds were from loan recoveries and interests. Action taken. Management has since disbursed the funds to approved applicants. There's an Appendix 9 there, Chair, specifically on G and H. Remedial measures. Management will ensure that disbursements of soft loans to beneficiaries are timely. The next page, Chair, is Appendix 2.5, total unspent funds under administrative cost. There is a table, certainly, management response, cause of query. The findings of the Auditor General are acknowledged and wish to report that the expenditure was based on the circular number Ministry of Local Government /010/22/74, which gave authority to local authorities to utilize available funds to clear outstanding payments provided they were within approved budget. Action taken. Management has written to the ministry to request for outstanding funds for 2024 allocation, as evidenced in Appendix 10. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will continue to engage the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development for timely release of CDF fundings. The next page, Chair, is Appendix 3 on community projects. This is a query on completed, work in progress, and outstanding projects.
You can go to read the remedial measures.
Yes. Management response.
Go to the remedial measures.
Okay.
On page 13.
Remedial measures. Management will ensure that community projects are implemented and completed within the stipulated time frame. That takes us to Appendix 3.1, analysis of performance of desks. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wish to state that the variance of 12,500 was a saving between approved amounts of 1,075 and the contracted sum of 1,062,500. Action taken. Management has since varied the funds to other projects. Appendix 12 speaks to that. We move to Appendix 3.2, delivery of defective desks. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wish to state that the queried desks were due to use of local timber that was not properly cured. Action taken. Management wished to report that the contracts were within the defect liability period and contractors were communicated to work on the desks in question. The desks have since been worked in the various schools, as the Appendix 13 speaks to that. We move to the next page on Appendix 6 for Youth and Women Empowerment Grants Analysis. The Women Empowerment Grants Performance Analysis. Management response. Management wishes to, management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wish to state that the unspent amount of 183,856 was as a result of submission of wrong details by the beneficiaries. Action taken, management wishes to report that the money has since been spent as the Appendix 14. Appendix 7.2 on the next page is failure to recover loans. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to report that the low recovery of loans from beneficiaries is due to non-compliance by beneficiaries. Action taken. Management wishes to report that demand notices and follow-ups were issued to beneficiaries to start paying back the loans. Management has since recovered 928,958 and 73 ngwe as per Appendix 15. Remedial measure. Management will continue to ensure that beneficiaries pay back the loans by making follow-ups. Appendix 8, Chair, on the next page is bursaries performance analysis. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to report that variance of unspent funds amounting to 329,203 under secondary boarding and skills development bursaries was due to low turnout of applicants as the payments were based on invoices from schools after verification. Action taken. Management through the CDF committee varied the unspent funds towards the procurement of desks. As per Appendix 8, remedial measures. Management will ensure that funds are spent within the financial year and will continue sensitizing the community to apply for secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. I submit for your consideration, Chair.
Thank you so much. I now wish to invite points of clarifications, if any. Maybe we can start with Appendix 3.2. Delivery of defective desks. On page 14. We take the apology. Next time you number your documentation. Eh?
Thank you, Chair.
We had to make the initiative to number the document on our own. So you are saying that this was due to use of local timber that was not properly cured. So why did we accept the delivery of desks that were not properly cured in the first place?
Thank you, Chair. The development occurred in due course after the timber had not shown its failure, but it had to show that the problem came after the delivery was made. And at the time that it was curing. I'm sure speaking to that, I can still request that Director Engineering talks about it.
Yes, Director Engineering.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So just like CS has alluded to, what happens is that at a time of delivery and inspection, you inspect that the timber is okay, but because sometimes we face challenges of having modern testing equipment locally as local authorities. So this adult that is delivered and supplied locally sometimes faces those challenges because it is not properly tested from our end. We rely on physical inspection. Then thereafter, after the delivery and the inspection, in a long run, you find that the timber is still curing. Then it starts warping, sometimes it develops cracks. So that's when you realize that now the timber has started developing defects. So no wonder within that defects liability period, we had to write to the contractors and the timber was replaced. I submit, Chair.
Was it you that noticed these defects or it was the Auditor General's office?
It's the auditor. However, even as we do observe, because before certification and issuing of the final completion certificate, we do go around to inspect and conduct the final inspection. So whichever the case, would have still identified the defects and communicated to the contractors. I submit, Chair.
You want to tell your committee that whichever the case, you would have noticed the defects and communicated to the contractor, which you did not do. When did they deliver the desks?
Chair, the desks were delivered sometime in 2024 April.
Yes.
And the auditors came in August. So
Yes.
they were still under the 6 months defect liability period. And we do receive communications from the various schools because we do communicate to them to say these desks are still under the defect liability period. So within this period, ensure that whenever a defect develops, you communicate to us, then we communicate to the contractor until such a time when the projects are fully handed over. That's when.
And in this case, no school communicated to you that there was defects with the desks that were delivered.
There was communication, Chair. No wonder this is just part of the total 1,750 desks that were delivered. The 239 were identified by the auditors, but there were still some that were still identified by the various schools, were communicated to us, and we had to issue instructions. Those ones were worked on even before the auditors came in.
You have that information to show us?
Chair, the information that have been submitted is just talking about the 239 that were identified by the auditors.
We want to ascertain that indeed you did make corrective and take corrective measures before the auditors came, because that is your duty as Director Engineering, just like you have alluded to the fact that before the final settlement, you should have checked. But even before, your office is supposed to undertake M&E to go and check that the desks that were delivered were actually cured properly, the screws are not are still okay, and just to check that the standards of the desks are okay within the defect liability period. Why did we neglect to undertake such M&E?
Chair, I think maybe the lapse is on the documents we're supposed to submit to show that indeed we do execute the routine checks and follow-ups with regards to the desk and all the projects that are delivered during that period of defect liability period.
So without that document, we can conclude that M&E was not undertaken, isn't it?
It was done. It's just that we haven't provided that.
Without the document, should the committee conclude that M&E was not undertaken? And that is the reason why it had to take the Office of the Auditor General to notice these 239 desks?
Chair, maybe I can come in. Thank you. Obviously, as much as we are not able to give the evidence, we can only acknowledge that flaw and promise and to endeavor to undertake monitoring and evaluations and submit reports whenever it is required to this committee.
What flaw are you admitting, CS?
The non-availability of the monitoring report that could have proved that we had been doing this kind of activity.
My question was that without those reports, is this committee in order to conclude that no M&E activities regarding the desks delivered were undertaken?
Chair, you can conclude like that.
Thank you so much. Dr. Mwanza?
On the same desks, engineer says that due to lack of testing equipment, they do physical inspection. What are the details that you conduct on that physical inspection on a desk which is delivered, and then you're supposed to certify it for payment? And the second one is what type of gadgets or test do you need to detect moisture content on a desk that you cannot procure?
Yes, Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. On the issue of testing, we have to conduct the moisture content on the timber that is delivered. So, like I stated, it's difficult for us to conduct such a task because we lack equipment. And then this test, we do it in conjunction with Department of Forestry from the Ministry of Forestry and our district. So we do it in conjunction. So they are the ones that guides to say the moisture content in the timber that is delivered has to be controlled. However, controlling it is difficult because we lack those gadgets locally. So going forward, what you've stated, like in the remedial measure, we are using now and recommending MDF, which is a medium density fiber boards. These are boards that are properly treated, heated, and cured. Mostly, they are approved by ZABS. I submit, Chair.
Honorable Dr. Singombe, may you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, yes, Chair. The question from Honorable Dr. Mwanza is trying to find out is what type of gadget, because the witness is saying they conduct together with forestry. And if forestry is able to have those gadgets, what is so difficult with the local authority, with the help of forestry department, to assist them with those gadgets so that desks that are bought are of high quality?
Yes, Director Engineering, you may respond.
So, Chair, like I have alluded to, the gadgets mostly are with the Department of Forestry. So we don't have them locally. Even Department of Forestry do not have. No wonder in our recommendation, instead of relying on locally supplied and delivered timber.
Let me guide you before you mislead yourself. We listened to the answers. You submitted that this equipment is with the Department of Forest. It is now your submission that this equipment, you do not have it locally. Could you give us a clear position on the two submissions? We would want to get one.
Chair, the equipment, we do not have it locally. at the local authority as well as the Department of Forestry. No wonder we've recommended the use of already treated timber.
Yes, we got both explanations, but earlier and on 2 occasions you said you rely on this equipment from the Department of Forestry, which you as a local authority do not have. So, what is the true position? Does the Department of Forestry have this equipment that you've been using, or there is no such equipment in the district?
Chair, we do not have it.
Yes, Director Engineering?
We do not have the equipment, Chair.
Can you kindly withdraw your earlier statement to the effect that you have been using equipment from the Department of Forestry when they actually don't have this equipment?
Chair, I withdraw my earlier statement that we do have an equipment at the Ministry of Forestry or Department of Forestry to conduct the testing. I submit, Chair.
Honorable Dr. Manza.
Can we take the committee to page 1?
Page 1.
Of course, there are no page numbers, but just assume the project on the ablution block, construction of an ablution block and the water reticulation at NSAMA Rural Health Center. This project was awarded to Culture Trading for the construction of a waterborne ablution block and staff toilets at NSAMA Rural Health Center at a contract sum of 954,122. A contractor by 30th of September was paid 38% of the contract, and the contract terminated. Since then, another contractor has been contracted in the name of Sikirichi. The points of clarification I want to seek is this contract by Sikirichi today is in March, and the contract that is signed expired in February. What is the status on the contract as of today?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Let me refer the query to Director Engineering.
Director Engineering.
Chair, in responding to this question, I will refer you to Appendix 1, which is Appendix 1 in the addendum.
In the addendum?
Yes, addendum. We have a project status report on Appendix 1, Part L, which is L, and the completion certificate at M. So meaning the project stands at 100%, the contractor has executed all the works, and it's been certified for completion. I submit, Chair.
Any follow-up, Honorable Dr. Mwanza? Use the microphone. Director Engineering, switch off your microphone.
Okay, Appendix 1L, there's an engineering report, status on the construction, overall percentage progress, 100%. Okay, I didn't see this report in the original submission. Where is the completion certificate?
Just after
Okay, we'll look at the financials for this project. The contract, the original contract was at 954,122. And it was supposed to be for 3 months. And the contractor paid the 368,653, leaving a balance of 585. The contractor, the closing, the final account settlement, he is supposed to pay the client 8,876,000 kwacha and 797 way. Has the council recovered this payment from the contractor? The first contractor, Kachi contractor, and how possible was it that when you contracted the second contractor, Sikrichi, the contract amount is lower than the project funds that were set for that project, taking into account the balance left on the project on the first contract and passage of time, 2 years. Then this contractor, Sikrichi, signs the contract at 583, 434.80, which was within the project funds that were set for this project, actually about 10,911 kwacha saving. This is the first situation that I've met when you've terminated a contract. Second contractor comes in, normally they look for funds from other sources. So how did it happen in such a situation?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'll still refer the query to Director Engineering for further clarification.
Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. So, Chair, the background to this one is that part of the scope, the initial scope of work, included drilling of the bore. However, the earlier contractor couldn't drill the bore, but to our advantage, we had a privilege of receiving a funded project under Ministry of Water for drilling of bore as well as Lake Tanganyika. We have 2 bores that were drilled at the same facility. So in the revised scope, we had to remove the drilling of the bore, and we just included now the upgrading of the existing bore into the water scheme without lobbying for more funds. I submit, Chair. Then on the first question, to do with recoveries, I think I'll hand over that one to the legal, because we've been doing some communications to the contractor. Yes.
Yes, legal.
Thank you, Chair. As the Director Engineering alluded to earlier, we terminated the contract. After termination, the laws stipulates or provides that we need to assess what works have been done and what's remaining and see the difference. And to that effect, we indicated to the contractor demanding for the repayment of the balance. And we are waiting for that, as he promised to pay within some time, reasonable time.
He promised just verbally, because we've just you indicated your demand notice, and there's no response, written document or commitment from the contractor. So it was just just to make a phone call, say you have received our demand notice. Yes, what are you thinking? Okay, we'll pay you. Is that so? Why is the evidence of commitment from the contractor and even maybe his proposed payment plan?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Even as the legal comes in, maybe I would still state that in our interaction with this contractor, he was a very hostile contractor, even as you would note from the savings of demand notices, he stopped even cooperating to receive, and even when we invited him, even for the formal official handover of site to the new contractor, he did not cooperate well. We, of course, through legal, are taking several other actions that will compel him to be able to attend to our demands. Thank you, Chair. Legal can also add.
Yes, legal.
Thank you, Chair. I think the Council Secretary has propounded on this one. That is what was done. Because of the hostility of the witness, we are taking further action.
Yes, Honorable Dr. Manza.
In a normal situation, when a contractor is a bit hostile, does not pick your calls, and you call for termination of the contract, final account closure, he doesn't cooperate. What sort of language comes out from such a contractor? Does he say, do you know who I am, or what? I mean, because this is tell us what it makes you believe and that is untouchable.
Yes, yes.
Chair, submitting, of course, before this committee, if I were not going to provide evidence, then I might be restrained from saying, especially how these contractors conduct themselves. But I want to confirm that with situations of especially the local contractors that feel they are indigenous and they are bred and grown there, it has not been very easy to manage them. But I think through the laws and what is provided for us to offer responsibility, we have been managing. Of course, they ask us who they are, and they could be untouchable, certainly. But Chair, we are managing them.
Okay. I'm just looking at your documentation. Director Engineering, did you just make these reports for the sake of coming to satisfy your committee that you had carried out an assessment and then went to issue a completion certificate for the ablution block, just to show the committee that, okay, this was done? Was this indeed done in the line of duty, or you just issued these reports to the satisfaction of this committee?
And Chair, it's after the assessment and the completion was done. To that effect, Chair, we even load to the auditors so that they can come and verify.
I'm looking at the assessment reports in both the documents that you've given us. Do you have both documents?
Yes, Chair.
Let's go to the assessment reports under L. You can read the dates on which you did the inspection in the first document.
Uh, 15th February.
No, that is under the addendum. That is under the addendum. Go to the date that you did the inspection and the report.
The other one is 24th January.
Is this the same report? Or there are two reports?
These are two different reports. The earlier one, the earlier submission was done, the report was on 24th January 2026. Then the other one is 15, the final one that is saying the project has been completed. However, Chair, the completion certificate that has been issued is a partial completion certificate, meaning the contractor is still finalizing on a few snags, but it's completed.
Well, I've noted that. So okay, let's go to the partial completion certificate. What is the date on the partial certificate, completion certificate? When did you generate the?
It's 28th February.
And when did you stamp the document? What is the date on the stamp?
28th.
Are you sure you are reading 28th?
Yes, Chair, it's 28th.
I have 20th.
Chair, it's 28th. It's just the 8 looking like a 0.
CS.
That's my stamp, Chair. It's that's actually 28th.
Yeah, switch off your microphone. Yes, Chair. I mean, CS.
Yes, Chair. I want to confirm that is showing 28th February. The stamp looks a little bit defective, but there is a 8 there, Chair. It's a stamp.
I can see Mr. Kazinga is agreeing with you. But a 0 and 28, they don't look the same. Huh? Which one? Your copy says 28. You can bring. This copy is from who? Yes. What is the date on the stamp? You can give them to read for us the date on the stamp. I have the same date stamp here. Legal. Is this an 8 or 0? You can use your report, madam. Not that one. Go to the addendum appendix M. What is the date on the date stamp?
Chair, it's 28.
Very well. Let's go to the report in the addendum. Could you say that the report was generated on the 15th, Director? 15th of February? That is L.
Yes, Chair.
What is your date under your signature with the CSC stamp?
It's 6th March.
March. And how do you explain this to?
Chair, it's this one is the preparation of the addendum to submit. We finished it on Friday 6th last week, so it was just about stamping it because other documents were also being stamped at that particular day.
And this is why I compared both documents in terms of their stamping, because they are not consistent with the dates. And this is an official document. Anyway, for me, I was just trying to ask that, were you preparing these reports to the satisfaction of the committee, or you were actually undertaking your work as in regards of what you're supposed to do?
Chair, it's to the satisfaction of my works.
Not to satisfy the committee that you had actually...
No, Chair. The works have been completed.
Honorable Dr. Manza.
On page overpayment to suppliers. There is no page number, but I think you can. There is a council overpaid to three suppliers: Jolusi Company Limited, Desamu General Dealing, Kremwi Traders and Contractors. The details are on page 1 of the addendum, where, for example, just sample a Jalusi company, the contract amount was 223,500, then the amount paid was 290. That is 66,600 overpayment. And very seriously, his contract was to supply desks, 150 of them, and he delivered nothing, zero. But he got 290,000 kwacha, 66,600 above the contract sum. So the total overpayment is 121,780 in total from these suppliers. How did it happen? And why couldn't you... First, how did it happen? Just tell us a story.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Chair. I will still refer to Director Engineering for further clarification.
Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. So in responding to the question asked, I'll refer you to the same page on the action taken, where management has reconciled the payments. So you go to the following page. The following page has highlighted tables. The first table is for Jolusi Company Limited. So, Chair, this wasn't an overpayment. As a contractor, Jolusi was paid for, these were two different contracts. The first contract was under 2022 funding. If you check in the table, the first column, the 66,600 highlighted as an overpayment was the final payment on the area project, which was under 2022 funding, if you check in the table. Then the second payment, which is 223,500, was for a different contract. So if you add the two, it will give you the 290 cited by the auditors. But the 66 overpayment for this particular contractor was the final payment on a different project that was funded under 2022. We have even attached contract documents to that effect and ledgers under Appendix 3. That is for the first one.
Any follow-up, Honorable Dr. Manza? Your microphone?
It doesn't matter, a supplier can have multiple contracts with a client, but every contract has a contract number. So when you are making payments, the payment voucher should specify the contract number. So the auditors, they picked this information. This information was supplied by yourselves. So why this confusion? Why this situation happened? And more especially that this Jalusi contractor, he never supplied not even a single desk. And such a payment, 290, is showing.
Yes, Director Engineering.
So, Chair, when auditors come, they request for contracts. So when they are requesting for contracts, they will state to say, give us this contract. So they requested for a contract because in 2024, mostly they were reviewing projects that were under 2023, spilled over to 2024. So now we gave them this contract document. So now they were just looking at one contract, which is with a contract sum of 223,500, not knowing that there was another contract for this particular contractor. Then they compared in the statement, the bank statement, the payments that had gone to this contractor. Then they realized that there were these two payments that were going to the same contractor for that particular contract they got. They asked that you have this overpayment for this contractor. Do you have a separate contract for this one or not? Would have availed that information, but they picked for two different projects. And
so what you are saying is that the auditors did not ask for the overpayment. Your CS, before making this presentation, apologized that you actually did not answer this query to the auditors, but now you are attempting to provide the information. But you are saying you were not asked. CS, which one is the correct position?
Thank you, Chair. The correct position is that we did not attempt to answer this question or this query. We have only brought it straight here. Like I stated.
Just there. So, Director Engineering, why are you trying to put the office of the Auditor General in conflict with your office? Yet your principal officer is saying that you did not attempt to answer this question at the station. Yes, Director Engineering.
Maybe, Chair, my submission would be the reason as to why we didn't respond to it is because we didn't accept the overpayment. But, however, CS has submitted.
But you clarify when the auditors are there. You clarify. You see, in NSAMA Town Council, I see your report not to be very bad, but it just borders on, you know, some internal control mechanisms that should have been undertaken that you neglected to undertake by yourselves. You have CS, your Director of Engineering, who is trying to defend a lot of things that were not done at the station. But he's here trying to show us that this was done, this was done. This is why I was even showing you on the date stamps, the date of the report. You have one report in the addenda and in the main report with two different dates, one report. These documents, after I let you go, when we present the report to Madam Speaker in the main house, they become public documents. And you moved that we admit the addendum to be part of your report, meaning that these documents will be read as one. And when it goes to the public, you have a report generated on the 15th of January. Same report is generated on the 24th of February. And the director is saying, no, these are different, but bearing same information. Auditor General is asking you for an overpayment. Instead of providing information to answer, they could have closed the query in NSAMA if you had attempted to provide this information. So, Director Engineering, as you are going back with your CS, your report is not very bad as compared to what we see here. Yeah, but don't have these defensive mechanisms. You have procedures. I was talking about this yesterday. Government, local governance, I always say, is a bureaucracy. Whatever you do in your office is a bureaucracy. When someone wants to ask for a payment bordering on a project, there must be an inspection. There must be a report. There must be an attachment of audit. Minus that, the auditors will ask, and this is why you are here. It means you didn't do your part. But for you to say, if they had attempted to ask us, we're going to provide them with the information, then why are you here? Why didn't you provide them the information there in NSAMA? Auditor General, you need to verify this overpayment, since they are now attempting. Don't worry, sitting here, I adopt and rely on your report 100%. This is why I'm asking you to get more information on this before we close this matter. You need to verify the information they are providing. NSAMA Town Council, like I said, your report, not quite bad, but you need to enhance matters of monitoring and evaluation, conduct sensitization to our people. You had unspent funds on the bursaries, skills bursaries, which you had to vary. And in your remedy measures, you are saying we will endeavor to conduct more sensitization meetings so that our children can take up these bursaries. It simply means you did not undertake the activity in the first place. So before varying the funds, we want to ensure that there is total uptake of the skills component. You are therefore directed to improve sensitization and community engagement to increase the uptake of bursaries and empowerment grants, enhance financial management and control systems to prevent overpayments, ensure the timely recovery of funds and maintain proper ledgers, strengthen project and contract management to ensure timely completion, hold contractors accountable for non-performance and maintain a complete audit trail for all terminated and awarded contracts. Strengthen loan recovery mechanisms and ensure that management is fully aware of the revolving nature of the loan fund to maximize its impact within the community. I would like to emphasize here that, as you may be aware, the 2026 loan component has been taken to the Presidential Energy Initiative, meaning that there is no money to go towards this component. We are solely depending on the repayments of the principal amount and the interest. So it is incumbent upon you, the officers, to hold sensitization meetings, to encourage those that are defaulting to ensure that they pay, so that their friends can also benefit from this revolving fund. Actually, this is a revolving fund. This is the way it's supposed to operate. We don't need to have more money given towards this fund. We need people who have got loans to repay so that their friends can also benefit. Ensure strict compliance with CDF guidelines and financial regulations, particularly regarding documentation for fund reallocation and authority for expenditure. We expect you, CS, to comply with the Office of the Auditor General when they come to your station. Most of these would be dropped at NSAMA itself. It will save us money, which you are supposed to come here to use and lodge and use on other logistics. The time you're supposed to be here, you actually be enhancing service delivery in NSAMA. So go and do better. Director engineering, that defense you are giving with vigor, go and do the correct thing. Then you will not come here. Thank you so much, CS. Your immunity is revoked. Thank you for your appearance. You may go back to your station and improve the living standards and services of the people of NSAMA. Our session has come to an end, and when the immunity is revoked, it means that what you say, you are now on your own. But you can say something.
Thank you, Chair. Other than to thank you for the wise counsel, we can only assure you that we are going to do our level best to ensure that we provide the necessary information and are available to the auditors in every way possible to avoid what could have at this stage shown like some little bit of little failings. We can only thank you for the advice, and we promise to do better next time, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You feel free to leave.
Good afternoon. There you have it. That's NSAMA Town Council making an appearance before the Committee on Local Government Accounts, and the council is being led by the council secretary, that's Mr. Raphael Kamanga. A number of issues that the committee did raise, among them that the council should enhance matters of monitoring and evaluation, and the council should also ensure timely recovery of funds, and they should also strengthen loan recovery mechanisms, among many other issues that the council needs to work on. And so the Committee on Local Government Accounts is considering the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. To join us in the afternoon as committees continue to interact with different councils countrywide. For now, it's bye-bye and pleasant viewing.
Here is an announcement. The National Assembly of Zambia wishes to inform all the candidates who attended interviews for various positions conducted between 13th November and 26th December 2025 that the recruitment